This is P.O.C. This is the entity that is indeed engaged in what is criminally defaming me, while the Ontario police, as you are seeing, are engaged in stalking me. A police department that is stalking, an airport that is stalking, an entity that's engaged in stalking in planes and helicopters, and as a population, and in this absurd, i.e. demonic manner, in not only certifiable conduct, but this is the entity that engaged in criminal defamation. Erica Lorraine Spencer's name is on the internet because of the pattern of conduct by Mike Lorenz, Derek Williams, the Ontario police, engaging kidnapping just like what Craig Hazelwood committed at 3 in the morning, stalking with light. That's what that demon was doing with the spotlight on me. These are demons that are engaged in that POC, and there is nothing that's explaining that in the natural. That's how you're recognizing targeting. The entities engaging in that while they are maintaining helicopter and plane activity as I begin documenting a co-conspirator of my murder, gang stalking me at the venue. That's engaging in that pattern of conduct. Remember, Ontario Airport Inn has the fake sun over me at 7 in the morning. During daylight savings time, it's over me as I'm documenting at 10 in the morning. During daylight savings time, it's over me at 5 in the evening, where the entity is stalking by helicopters, stalking by commercial planes, and doing so as I use my device, and doing so with impunity. And it's the same pattern of conduct. The entity engaged in kidnapping at Economy Inn, and those gang stalkers are going to prison. So is Craig and Hazelwood and Owens. So are Jason Fields and Tracy Banks. Everybody's sharing in that POC. The defamation on the venue of the internet, so that the entity such as Jason Fields can commit murder and get away with it. That's the pattern of conduct. The demon-possessed that are engaged in what is very real criminal surveillance, and it's gang stalking by the demon-possessed. That's impossible light activity occurring in the shade while the fake sun's over me at 12:26 in the afternoon, and the Ontario police put themselves in this video evidence so that the world recognizes the entity that's committing murder and not engaging in anything other than kidnappings while they are engaged in criminal surveillance, not law enforcement. That's the impunity with which the entity commits murder and kidnapping. Owens and Craig Hazelwood are going to prison, and so is every other kidnapper, and they do so with regard to the hitman Jason Isaac Fields and Tracy Banks, stealing my money and defaming me for years. In the path with light, audible activity, and engineer light. This is directly tailored to this right here. This is the entity that's gang stalking. That's a demon keeping my vagina under surveillance. They're being deported, they're being removed from children, and they're going to be prosecuted as terrorists. That's the POC. All right, and that's the ongoing pattern of conduct, ongoing mental illness by a population of the demon-possessed. And what do? This is what is requiring martial law. As they're exposed, that mental illness is worn on the outside. You're stalking in planes, you're stalking in helicopters, you're stalking under the entity is going to prison for kidnapping at the Ovid Family Community Library, because that's what this evidence shows, targeting. While the entity is flying over the 280 North Lemon Apartments, where there's also no airport, where you're hovering over the senior citizens. And you're engaged in what is pacing under me, stalking, in the engineered light, under the fake sun, while I'm surrounded with the entity that's engaged in what is communicating all manner of a threat. You're going to prison. The Ontario police, they're being disbanded, they're going to prison for kidnapping and defaming, and Jason Fields is going to prison. These suicidal, demon-possessed gang stalkers whose failed witchcraft is the evidence to put them in the mental asylums where they belong, where they will be expiring. This is the POC. The entity engaging in what is a threat while gang stalking and furtherance of murder with the very entity that is the one that's committing kidnapping. And you see me prosecuting them while I go into the police department. They're going to prison. This is POC. This is a massive violation of your privacy. This entire entity is engaged in monitoring me inside of my apartment. Every single second is public information. Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. And it's impossible that Economy Inn, that Marriott Bonvoy, that the Hilton, and that La Quinta Inn by Wyndham, that they have the pattern of conduct, but that's what the evidence shows. Fields is going to prison. This is POC.